How did you get into soccer?
So my father built us soccer goals down in the picnic area, and I used to practice, you know, every day, all day. I was pretty good at soccer. We all were. My brother was a really good rugby league player. We're pretty well known in the Shire in the juniors. Our name was pretty well known. Until we got our own club. When I was 19 or 18, we finally got a Bundeena club, and it's still there today. So we were virtually the pioneers of that club, which is a good thing. My father and Ronnie Rossiter and a couple of other people, Jeff Tarrant and a few others, made it possible. We had a really good side. We had such a good side we went into Premier League, and that was sort of unknown of for a club to never, ever to start and be in the top grade in all age. It was a really unusual thing. But we had so many good players that they had to put us in. And but the only way we could do that was to have kids, junior teams. So we had to run around and organise a few junior teams, and it's hit off from there. I mean, every age is played now, right up to the seniors, and the girls play too. So
Did any of you make a pro, bro?
one of the girls played for Australia. She used to play with the boys. She was so good that her name was Tony McMahon. And not only she played out on the field when she got a bit too old to play out on the field, she played goalie for Australia. She was a clever girl. But there was a few of us that were good soccer players. Like we played against players that did play for Australia and did play professional. But the money wasn't good them days, so a lot of really good football players just played on the weekends because they enjoyed the game and worked. So that was what we did. I mean, my father wanted me to be a professional, but my brother he signed up, he was one of the youngest ever to sign up as a professional. He signed up at 13. But I wanted to go surfing, and it was really hard to surf and play soccer the same day. Surfing would tire you out. I tried it, and I couldn't really play very good soccer if I had to surf beforehand. So I couldn't surf the day I played soccer. Until my father was a bit noisy and embarrassed me a bit. So it was easy for me to give the game up, and didn't realise till we started our own club in Bundeena how much I really liked the game, you know. But surfing was my favourite. There's no feeling like surfing.
Where did soccer take you, man?
Well, I used to play soccer all the time, and when I went to school, I'd get all the kids to play. None of the kids played soccer, and I was the soccer king, and I taught everybody how to play soccer, and about 10 kids from that school ended up being very good soccer players. And like it went on and on and on. Because my brothers played soccer, I went over and played for Cronulla RSL and stuff like that. My father would take me, and we'd go every weekend. The parents would take us to every game, you know, their four sons' games, and they'd time them and go to every game. I was the youngest. So I learnt from all my brothers, and I learnt everything about football from the age of naught nearly. And, you know, like I was pretty good, you know, like I was good. I can talk about it now because I'm old, but I was good, but no one wanted to tell me. And I never thought I was as good as I was because everyone thought I was such an egomaniac. They didn't want to tell me or say anything because they thought I already thought that about myself anyway, which was not right. But that was the vibe I gave, you know, because I was so confident in what I did. I thought, well, we're not telling him he's good or that, I think that's what it was. Well, one day I seen myself on a Super 8 and I thought, who's that? I said, that's my brother. He's really good. Look at the control. Look how he plays. And someone tapped me and said, that's you. I went, what? That's how I looked when I played? I had no idea. I had so much balance and control and I could kick both feet and, I was really a good football player. That was special. But I was the sort of kid who just didn't want to be one thing. I wanted to be everything that I could get myself involved in. I wanted to be a surfer. I wanted to have a game of cricket. I wanted to go swimming. I wanted to race at swimming. I wanted to, hold me breath underwater. I wanted to surf. I just didn't want to limit myself to one. If you want to dedicate yourself to rugby league or soccer or whatever, that's it. That's all you do. That's your life. I liked girls and I liked going to the pub and socialising and having fun like young kids do, I wasn't any different than that way. But I was determined to do and be what I wanted to be without anyone trying to control that, most of us are like that, I think, aren't we?
One standout story, dude.
Oh, yeah, there's one that really sticks out. We played the Emmett Champions the first year, and they were Kirrawee, and they won the Australian Amateur Champions of Australia. And I was so nervous, I was so cold, I was nearly throwing up when we went out in the field to play them. But at half time, I'd scored 3 goals and we were up 3-1 and they were shell-shocked. And I scored a couple of goals, one goal from way out with my left foot, 1 penalty and 1 around that I had to beat the goalie. And so they were all 3 different goals, but beating them guys that were champions, the next week they put me in the rep team to play the professionals. They were so impressed with me and they'd never heard or seen me because I hadn't played for 6 years, And so if I played them 6 years, who knows how good I would have been going. But I had football in me blood and I had a real good mind for it. That was what was important to me at soccer. To understand it at the level I understood it, because a lot of guys are really talented and really good at it, but the brain is where it all comes from, My son used to say to me, Dad, what's the difference between a 5'8" who plays on the weekends to a 5'8" who plays in the NRL? And I said, his mind. He's physically exactly the same, but his mind is what makes him a better player. So it's all in the head. Everything's in the head, everything. For me, it all comes back to your mind.
Yo, man, when did you stop playing soccer?
When I was about 14, I gave it up and went surfing because from that age, 14 to say 18, your parents drop out and you end up going in one car with your brother or something might take you and all your all the other kids. So it's really unrepresented and not many people go to the games and it becomes pretty boring and quiet and it's really hard to hang on and get anywhere. But now they've got rep teams that play all year, like I made the reps every year and we'd only play a couple of games and then we'd go back to the club. But now if you make the rep team, you don't play club football, you play rep all year. So that's the difference and that's better now. Australian soccer's a lot better, but that was another reason I didn't want to play it because there was no money in it. And I thought I'll just play it on the weekends and have fun and be good at what I do, and love what I do. And not look for a vocation or a career from it.
It's me, Johnny. I'm home.